feel almost guilty looking at this image right now of how warm it is, how brisk it is here in Portland compared to everywhere else in the country.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what it is. At least we don't have to deal with, I think it's frost quakes, which is a new word that I learned today. Sorry if you're dealing with frost quakes out there, but at least you're here watching us now. This is Digital Trends Live. This is our daily show here from Digital Trends where we talk about the trending tech topics of the day. We bring you up to date with what everybody's talking about. We've got great interviews, we've got segments, we've got all kinds of things broadcasting live as we go through the show with you right here. And we are on Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, all of those platforms and many more. And what we can do is take your questions and your comments as we go through the show. So thank you everybody who's joining us right now, and we will make sure that we get to those comments as we go through this. Let's talk about what's on the docket today. So coming up here in just a little bit, we are going to be talking to Eddie Corral, who is the CEO of Pier Tracks. So what Pier Tracks is, it's kind of like SoundCloud, only when you upload your music on there, when you're streaming music, it goes through the blockchain. So kind of updating that model. We're going to talk about him, about how that all works, and how that's going to change up how the music industry works, who's going to adapt it. We've got Caleb Dennison, our own Caleb Dennison here, to talk about TVs for the Super Bowl. Yes, the Super Bowl is this weekend, so we're going to talk about the best televisions for that, maybe some good deals. Caleb will, I'm sure, have plenty to say about that, and that's also a really good time to put in your comments and questions. I know lots of people have their television questions to get to, so we'll make sure that he gets those. And then later on in the show, we've got Jordan Moro. So Jordan is the global head of data literacy at a company called Click. So what that is it's actually trying to figure out who is going to keep our data safe. I mean, we're going to be discussing this here in a second. Obviously, data security is a huge issue for all of us, and he's going to kind of run through maybe what Congress should be doing about it, who should oversee it, who should actually help balance this stuff out and take control of some of this. So we're going to have Jordan on to talk about that, the global head of data literacy for Click. Before we get to that, though, I'm Greg Nibbler here in studio, joined now by Mr. Luke Larson. Hello, Luke.
Hello, Greg.
How are you doing today?
Great. Nice and toasty in here.
It is warm in here. I know. I feel guilty. I've been watching some of the news. Again, you know, if you're in the 90% of the country where it's completely freezing, well below freezing, like ungodly temperatures right now. Sorry about that. Hopefully you're safe and warm and not having to go out in that, and you can just watch us talk about tech. So let's have a distraction for an hour.
There you go.
Pretend it's nice and warm. This is your tropical tech vacation. I probably shouldn't have coined that. All right. Let's talk about the headline story today. Is a little bit different than what we normally do. I kind of wanted to just do a recap of everything that's been going on with the fallout from Facebook. There's an Apple lawsuit, there's a Google controversy, and kind of wrap it all into one just headline just to bring you up to date on everything that's happened with this. And so, Luke, start off, I guess, just to kind of recap yesterday. If you didn't know this or you want to get the full details, Facebook got into a lot of trouble yesterday because it was revealed, shocking news, yeah, that Facebook did something sneaky. I know we're broadcasting on Facebook and we're probably going to get cut off here any second. Facebook, it was revealed that they have been for years, at least back to 2016 possibly, have been paying teenagers and on up to 30-year-olds $20 a month to install their Facebook Research VPN app onto people's phones, onto their mobile devices, and Facebook would then take all of their data, including down to direct messages, and take that data and analyze it and use it for whatever they were going to do, skimming pretty much everything off somebody's phone. Yeah. That's not cool. Yeah. Number one. I don't think I would want that. I don't think $20 a month would be worth it for me. I mean, there's a price. I think I talked about this yesterday. There's a price where we can get my data. But $20. It's
higher than $20.
It's higher than $20. Yeah, there it is. Let the bidding begin. Which everybody wants my data, I'm sure. So, but for $20 a month is what they were doing. And the thing is, they had teenagers doing this, and then they were signing parental consent forms. And Facebook came out actually today, just to fill in the gaps here, or it was yesterday, Sheryl Sandberg, one of Facebook's execs, came out and said, well, yeah, but they consented to it. The teens consented. So it's okay. We were doing it. It was okay. It was above board. But it wasn't above board. It wasn't above board for a couple of reasons, because this research data app is actually something that was only supposed to be used internally at Facebook, something that Facebook employees use when they're figuring out different new apps, when they have to test things out on iOS. So Apple, finding out about this, said that was a complete violation of everything that Facebook had signed on for, and didn't just remove it from the App Store. They completely removed all Facebook's development apps from the App Store. They pulled their license for it. So that means internally at Facebook, anytime they're working on something that's going to be on an iOS platform, they can't do it now. Apple will not allow them. And I guess yesterday it was absolute chaos for the reports that we got from Facebook employees finding out about this and not being able to use it.
Oh, for them not being able to use it internally.
Internally, everything they're working on, if it was an iOS platform, all of a sudden is just broke and didn't work.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's kind of like a pretty big move by Apple, right? I mean, saying like, that's enough. No more, clean up your act, or else you're done.
Right. I mean, yeah. It's pulling their card to work on anything on iOS. I mean, it's a big step by Apple.
Yeah.
Especially if it's Facebook. You know, I mean, one of the other biggest tech companies in the world.
Yeah.
And what I don't know. What do you think about this?
I mean, I think it's really interesting because a lot of the data leaks and all that was happening last year with Facebook. A lot of that came from the lack of consent around people's data being taken without consent.
Right.
And that's why Facebook is being like, no. They had consent. We asked them to do this. And I think there was a lot of people coming out of that Cambridge Analytica scandal that were saying, well, as long as people have consent, they're able to like sell their data essentially. That would be an okay thing. That would be an alternative to what we know what's currently being done. So. It is interesting, but I think the fact that they're like teenagers makes it.
I think that's where it gets a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, where you're taking teens' data, and they're not going to know exactly what they're doing, what they're giving up.
No.
You know, I mean, I'm sorry, it's a teenager. You know, and then you're just giving out that data, and $20 could mean a lot of money for somebody, but still, I think it's just it's going on everything else that Facebook has had going on with them. It's just one more piece to the puzzle. Of like, okay, what are you doing with everybody's data, and why do you need that much data? So that's part of recapping yesterday. So Apple pulling that card was big. In the meantime, a couple other things that came out over the last 24 hours. Google now admitting that, oh yeah, we had one of those too. So Google was doing essentially the same thing, a couple of differences. Google's trying to claim that, I mean, yes, they did have an internal app, a research app on the iOS store that they were giving out to customers, to non-employees. And those are only supposed to go to employees. Google was doing this and giving them out to people who were not their employees. Clear violation of Apple's policy. And then the way they would pay them is give them gift cards and gift certificates to like the Google store. Yeah, and so that's how they would be able to justify taking the data from everybody. But it was the same thing, stripping the data off. They pulled theirs once Facebook got busted. They're like, ugh. Yep, nope, we didn't do anything. And now they're admitting that we had that. It was a big mistake. Apple so far though has not kicked the rest of their apps off of the store.
Right.
So I don't know what's going to happen.
It's an important thing that the entire industry has to talk about because this data, especially for Facebook and Google, like they need this data to run their services that they have.
Yeah.
And whether or not we, want to be willing to give them that, but we also have for an exchange, we give all these services that use our data to give us things that we need, like contextual things that we need. So. It's kind of like, how are these companies going to do this in a way that we all approve of, And this is one thing they've obviously been doing that no one has known about, really.
Right. Yeah, going on for this long. Like, Apple didn't even know, or if they knew, they just looked the other way.
Yeah.
I mean, they're claiming they didn't know, and I find that hard to believe that Apple didn't know, what Facebook and Google were doing on their, especially Google. I mean, you're not going to monitor what Google's doing on your app store? One of your biggest competitors?
The fact that it's just been secret is what makes it creepy to me. Because if they had made like, hey, we're doing this, we have to do this somehow. So this is the conclusion we've come to, and we're going to give you some money. People who want to do it, they have to give consent. If they had just kind of come out and done that, that would have been one thing. But the fact that it's just like secret and like, oh, we don't want people to know about this. It's just it starts to feel wrong.
It adds more into it. And you can check out all of this at Digital Trends, too. The last thing I wanted to bring up, I mean, we can go into this for a long time. We're going to be talking about data security here in just a little bit with one of our guests. But the other news is that Apple, with their FaceTime issue, which it's probably kind of convenient for them, they're like, oh, yeah, look over there. Everybody's doing the look over there thing. But Apple, with their FaceTime issue, to where you could actually, apparently, see and hear someone before they accepted a call, and so they were unknowingly, they could be heard, is getting sued. There's an attorney in Texas who's suing Apple based on what they did, and then also bringing it up that the fact that he said he was giving a deposition to someone and that someone else actually listened in and heard it.
Oh my gosh.
There's not a lot of details on that and so far. It's just kind of him saying that's what happened. So, we'll see.
Yeah. Not surprising to see this, though, and I doubt this will be the last one with this particular,
Definitely. Yeah, somebody's going to be bringing up some more lawsuits on this.
Yeah, because it was going on for, months? While nobody knew about it. Apple may or may not have known about it. It's just like, that's a long time for a lot of phone calls to be recorded and, given people access to. So.
Well, they were at least notified over a month ago by a teenager in Tucson who was playing Fortnite, I think is how he found it. And he notified them. The kid's mom, I believe, notified them. They wrote them on Twitter to the Apple support, and there was never any response.
Right.
And so they're like, yeah, hey, we told you.
Yeah.
But you didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of just a wrap up of, there's so much you can dig into with that, with everything that we're just brought up with data privacy. It's a huge concern, obviously, and this news continues to break. Later on today, if you're watching live right now, tune in to Trends with Benefits. That's our podcast. That'll be live at 2:30 p.m. Pacific. We're going to go a little more in depth with this and maybe talk about what we can do to try to protect our stuff, but we'll also be discussing that later on the show here today. All right, we need to get to our Read 'em and Weep segment, which is part of every day here at Digital Trends Live, where we take a look at the comments and the questions that have come through over the last 24 hours or so, and we read them, and sometimes we weep about them. So let's go to Facebook here. This is Steve Ellsworth. Regarding Xbox Live problems are making some players' consoles unusable. I offer a solution. 1, unplug Xbox. 2, remove all cords and wiring. 3, place Xbox and accessories in nearest trash can. 4, buy a real gaming console, PS4, and become a real gamer.
A real gamer.
A real gaming console. I like how we went to the effort to put PS4 in parentheses, as though,
It's just a suggestion.
Right.
Any real gaming console will do, but...
As though we didn't know where they were going. Do you have any preference between PS4 or Xbox?
No, I actually don't have either right now. So, I have a PC.
PC gaming?
Yeah.
Oh, which is the whole other category.
I do that for my job quite a bit, so
yeah.
I guess I have to be a PC gamer by default. So.
Okay. So no real passion, though.
No real passion between Xbox and PlayStation.
Okay. All right. Well, Steve, duly noted.
Sorry, Steve.
Yes. Xbox sucks. All right. Let's go on to the next one here. Cowboy Marty. That is a great name, Cowboy Marty. Wasn't there a robot that we had named Marty not too long ago? I'm pretty sure there was. Cowboy Marty, regarding this machine splits wood for you. Kind of reminds me of divorce court.
I think I need to know more about the context of this. There it is.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, so this is a video that we had up of an automatic wood splitter. I guess it's not a wood chipper, but it automatically splits up the wood. I'm not quite sure how the divorce connotation comes in there. That must have been...
Someone has a dark history.
There's a story behind that. There's something real bad happened there, Marty. I'm sorry, Cowboy Marty, for what went on there and why that you would see a wood chipper and think, yeah, it reminds me of a divorce. I mean, that's boy, that's a rough one. Marty, I hope you're doing better now. Buy yourself a wood chipper. All right, let's go on to our next comment here from James DeLeo. Regarding teens, young adults willingly shared private data with Facebook for cash. Teens misled into sharing more data than they expected with Facebook for less than $1 per day. Fix that headline for you. That's actually a pretty good headline, James. I got to give you credit because that's really what it is. Yeah, less than $1 a day. Yeah. They got all of their information.
Yeah, teens don't think about this kind of stuff. They're just playing Fortnite.
Right.
They don't care about their data.
Yeah. Or the fact that all of those pictures are now there, owned by Facebook because you just gave that to them for less than $1 a day. Yeah, sometimes it's worth thinking just a little bit about it before you do that. James, thank you. That was a Facebook comment on Facebook. Let's see here. Alec Cabega regarding gaming laptop trends to watch in 2019. I think that was somebody who's here. You guys yap a lot. Just get to the point already. Is that an angry face and an typed out as well? Wow.
What is the point? I don't. Stop yapping. Stop talking.
Stop yapping.
Just get to the point.
Get to the point. Luke, God, come on. I
don't know what. Get to the point without talking. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's too much yapping. That's what that's what they're telling you. Alex, so sorry about all the yapping. We'll try to get to the point already.
You're making things worse by what you're doing right now. By yapping more.
By yapping more about it? I'm just trying to get to the point for Alec with all of the yapping that I'm doing, and I'm trying to tell him that if he just keeps watching, I'll some point get to a point that, yeah, sorry, Alec, yeah, we yap a lot. I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do about that. All right, let's go on. You guys yap a lot. I love how you just took the time to type that out, though. Eric Simpson, regarding Samsung's new big but small chip could mean the end of the micro SD card. Then you'll see it 3 to 4 years later in Apple products, and they'll act like it's a new and exciting concept. Apple burn right there.
Burn.
Burn,
yeah,
Apple.
Kind of true. Probably will happen.
It is. Actually, you're not wrong. I mean, that's probably what's, that's probably
Samsung makes a lot of these, technologies, and then Apple buys them later.
Look, we have an OLED screen now. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. That was part of our Read 'em and Weep segment here that we do every morning, where we do read the comments, and we do appreciate those. So keep dropping those comments in there, and let us know what you think. A couple other things to get to here before we're going to go to break, and then we'll be having our guest Eddie Coral on here in just a second. The end of something was officially announced today. I guess we already knew it was going to end, but we have a date now.
Yeah.
Very sad day for everybody out there who are fans of Google+. Google+ now going to or it says we're broadcasting live. Killer King, listen to these geezers giving Facebook advice to kids. Stop your yapping, Keelan. All right. Back to what I was yapping about. Google+. So Google has officially set the date that the site is going to end. It is April 2nd. The official day. Now, February 4th is the last day you can sign up for Google+. So if you still wanted to create a Google+ page and really get in on that,
it's not too late.
You have till February 4th to sign up for it, and then after that, you can't do anything with it. So it'll just remain stagnant, apparently, until April 2nd, after the February 4th date, and then that's it. They'll start deleting it, and all of those comments and the glory that you posted will be gone forever. Luke, did you have a Google Plus page?
I think you were forced to. If you had a Gmail account,
yeah, it's like automatically add to Circle.
So I guess I was.
What the hell is the Circle? A close circle. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's funny that you can still sign up for it. I mean, I don't know what you would do with it. Nobody's used it for I don't know how long.
Well, that's actually, I did take a look. And there were people still using it up to
posting things?
Yeah, posting things.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah, I Googled top Google Plus accounts, and it's funny. Like some of the names on there. There's Mark Zuckerberg, still had a Google Plus account. Guy Kawasaki is on there. Guy Kawasaki actually going to be on this show in a couple of weeks. He's going to be joining us. Tom Anderson from MySpace.
Anderson.
He's from MySpace, and he was
still has the same profile pic.
Still the same profile pic, and I did look at Tom's page, and he just posted about his travels, like enjoying being retired. And it was a travel to Oregon, actually, is what he posted most recently. So
he's like, have fun with all that social media stuff, guys. I'm just going to be retired.
He's the smartest person out of any of them.
He really is.
Like, yep, I'll take my money and I'm out. I'm just going to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you, Tom. We need to get Tom. Maybe we should get Tom on Digital Trends Live, actually. That'd be kind of cool. Get his story. So anyway, if you do have a Google Plus account, I'm very sorry to say, that's going to be going away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with these data issues, it's not a bad thing, because that was a lot of data right there that people were willingly posting on their profiles.
That is true, actually. So if you do have yours, if you want to get in on the action, you have till February 4th. Get in on that Google Plus action and live it up for the next 4 days. Please do so. All right. I think we need to go to break because we have our special guest who's going to be joining us here in just a second. Luke, though, thank you for hopping in here today.
Thanks for having me.
There's a lot to unravel here when it comes to news today. But we are going to have a lot coming up. So we have Caleb Dennison, who is our one of our senior editors to talk about Super Bowl television deals is coming up. We've got Jordan Moro from Click, the global head of data literacy for them. And coming up next, we've got Eddie Crowe, CEO of Pier Tracks, to talk about the really cool product that they have, kind of taking kind of a SoundCloud-ish platform, bringing in blockchain, updating everything, talking about new ways to stream music. So we're going to walk through all of that with him. Drop in your comments, your questions right here as we go through. I will get those through to him, and we'll be right back in a minute with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. Thank you everyone who's tuning in wherever you're finding us. We do appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button to make sure you get notified every time we go live, which is 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, every weekday, bringing you tech headlines and bringing you great interviews and different information and things that we talk about here at Digital Trends. Maybe you talk about it in just the tech world in general, and we talk about real world applications. And our next guest is one of those people who's using blockchain to update something that we all do all the time, which is streaming music. Although I'm going to let him explain it because he is definitely the expert. We've got Eddie Crowe from Pier Tracks, the CEO of Pier Tracks. Hello, Eddie.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. You know, I'm really excited to talk about what you guys are doing and what the platform is and what you're building with this. And I thought maybe you could kind of walk us through, I guess the basic definition is, what is Pier Tracks?
Right. So, you know, Pier Tracks has been in the works since 2015. And I'll get into how we really came about the platform. But in a nutshell, it's a basic streaming player. We have an interactive on-demand side, and we also just developed our Pier Tracks radio format, which is Pier Tracks Live. That side of the coin, we were able to play major label music, you know, you can hear a Bruno Mars, Taylor Swift, along right next to some independent music. So we're going to try to bridge the gap. I think we've entered an era where independents can now really compete with major label product, you know, and that seems to be a big thing for musicians to try to, you know, expand their fan base. And that's what Pier Tracks does. Pier Tracks has made it easy with blockchain technology to instantly upload your track, have it vetted by us. Now, we do have a manual system. We are not a SoundCloud open free system yet. We're working through a few issues that will bring that to the public soon within the next few weeks. But once your music is uploaded, you're able to contact your fan base, and it would be streaming that same day. So, and you're paid instantly. See, it's one of the things that blockchain is allowing us to do is make things easier for us, the public and the consumer, believe it or not. There have been a lot of headlines that, you know, you've got all these encryption keys, and it's, you know, the way to log in is just tough. We've made that process so easy now. It's just a username and password. I think you even had a guest on your show a couple days ago or yesterday that was saying that the blockchain has made things easier, and we're proof of concept of that. And again, one of the great things is that you know, you're paid instantly. So the digital tokens are put into your digital wallet the next day. And, again, this part of the equation, people think, oh, God, okay, cryptocurrency, it's been beat up in the press and this and that. But we've made that process simple. So when you earn royalties on our system, again, it goes into a digital wallet. Now, you can elect, we have the native token that it's called XSD. Our blockchain is called SoundDAC. And so you're paid in an XSD token, you earn your royalties, and now you can convert that to Bitcoin or now go to a debit card direct. So we make those options available in a 3-button system real easy. So, it's things like that make the process simple. With Apple, Spotify, some of your bigger platforms, it's just a little bit longer process. You get lost in the shuffle. What do they say? The stats that are 70%, of the music on there doesn't get streamed. You send your fans there, maybe your 100 or so fans, you're not getting paid those royalties for, 3 months down the road. So our collection process, and again, the blockchain allows for accountability. So yeah, we're just real excited now that, we've been in the marketplace. We did beta test on it. It's been in the marketplace since June 1st. But this year, we're really going to go full force with the campaign to really bring it to the masses. And it's for everyone. You've got the hobbyists, the closet musicians, the guys that, want to create and maybe put it out and see what it could do. But this is the platform for that.
I think that's a couple of questions that I have there based on that. So from the artist standpoint, just to try to, if I can sum up if I understand it correctly, it makes it easier for them to upload. An artist signs up, they can upload their music, and it makes it easier for them to track their streaming and get paid because of the blockchain technology. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. Okay,
so that's great because you're right. It is kind of a pain going through, some of these other services, and you do get lost in the shuffle. How would blockchain help their music? You mentioned to get played more alongside the other artists. How does that make that happen?
Well, that process, so we would see, a popularity trend within our charts. We have in Pier Tracks, there's what we've developed, our Pier Tracker. So you're able to see, live instantly where you fall, what an uptrend or downtrend in your releases look like. From that, our radio format, which is Pier Tracks Live, would pick up on that data and say, hey, this is this independent song that came from nowhere is getting a lot of plays and from our streaming side, and we would port that into our radio format and then put it into a rotation schedule, and then contact that artist to let them know that we're doing additional promotions to help you promote your track. And that's something else we're going to help. It isn't just throw your song up and hope people listen to it. There's got to be. I think people forget that the digital age has made it easy for people to say, hey, let me throw it up there. You got to get out and work. At the end of the day, you got to promote. You got to support your music, your fan base, and all of that's got to come together. So Pier Tracks is going to help with that. We're going to have other tools that will help the musician. And see, where some of the other platforms fail in that is they nickel and dime the bands and the musicians. Everything costs this, that, and we're past all that. We have big crypto communities ready to listen to new independent music. And, we're going to reach out in all kinds of ways to help people promote their product. So that's what we're excited about. And we're already doing it. There's several groups that we've already helped that have signed on. We've got a big, one of our employees, Shinoy, who runs our he's in India, runs our division out there. They got great music coming out of there. So, it's awesome. I just see the connection worldwide of what we're doing. We're not just going to be, located in the U.S. and run a radio station. We're aggressively pumping this out as a crypto-based product, that is going to prove itself in the marketplace.
That's great, and it sounds like it's really helping. Looking at it from a musician standpoint, that's great because they can use all the help they can get, and yeah, it's a source of a lot of frustration for a lot of them. From the consumer side, from the end user side, how do people get the app and listen to music on the platform?
Right, and everything was done by design because we didn't want a full rush to the platform. We are installing the native apps for download within a couple weeks. Those will be live. You can go to Pier Tracks Live, though, or peertracks.com to sign up now. So you can go there, register, go ahead and get your digital wallet, start submitting music to us. and we begin the interaction that way. And again, we're not the, submit it and we don't talk to you. To date, we have just spoken to just about everybody that's involved with our platform. So there is interaction, there's help, so we're there to guide you.
That's really cool. And that's good that you're interacting with everybody and helping to make this transition into the platform. So you said it's going to be available in a couple of weeks?
Yeah,
okay.
It's available now. You can listen to it just by going to piertracks.com. And the public will be able to download the app within a couple weeks, correct?
Very cool. I love the idea of changing things up and trying to help out the artists and the end user at the same time, using this new technology to make it easier to get paid. Do you see this kind of technology being incorporated in anything else just down the line?
Oh yeah. I mean, we've gone on to develop a lot of people don't know the poor man's copyright. Musicians used to. Right. You put a cassette or CD, lick a stamp, and mail it to yourself. Well, we're going to help with encrypting in a PDF form. We're working with Washington on this to develop, and it's already developed. So we have an instant copyright. So the minute you register your song, you're getting a copyright. So that's going to be held in the vault. And again, automated promotion systems, contests, giveaways. Our radio format's going to be doing giveaways every day. Our sponsors are coming in, so we're looking forward to what we're going to give to people. It's ad-free, subscription-free right now, and we're excited.
That's great. I love that copyright aspect. I still have a manila envelope from college that I mailed my CD to. So, the day that somebody discovers it and tries to steal that song from me, clearly, I'm going to be good. They want 18-year-old Greg's song. All right. Well, Eddie Crowe, thank you so much for hopping on here to talk about Pier Tracks and just kind of the evolution of streaming music and where we're going to be seeing that going. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
And thanks, everybody, for watching Digital Trends Live. We really do appreciate everybody tuning in. And we're not done. We have lots more coming up today. In just a little bit, we're going to be joined by Jordan Moro from a company called Click to talk about data latency and kind of get back to that. How do we protect our data and who should be doing that and what they're doing to try to advocate for that so we don't have massive data breaches or as much. And we'll be having him in. And up next, we're going to have Caleb Dennison, senior editor Caleb Dennison, who is going to be coming on here to talk about televisions for the Super Bowl. What should you be getting? What is the best one for it? Are there any deals out there? Drop in your questions. We're broadcasting live. Let us know what you have for Caleb. We'll be back here in a minute with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. Thanks, everyone, for watching us broadcasting live across all kinds of different platforms. And we do appreciate the comments as they come through. Shout out to Doxy TV, who said, you guys are the best. Thank you. Those are the comments that get read on there. So drop in more comments, questions. If you have them, now is the time to put them in there because it's time to talk about televisions. I'm Greg Nibbler, here joined with Caleb Dennison.
Good morning.
Good morning, Caleb. So, Super Bowl. Let's get right to it. Super Bowl is this weekend. Everybody who has a nice television tries to have their own party and get everybody to come over there. I don't know who has the best television. That's up for my friends to compete with because I don't have the best one.
It's me.
It's you. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I know. You never come over. You never visit. You never call.
Well, I didn't want to impose. So we'll settle that part. But before we get to that, let's talk about televisions in general. So I think for a lot of people, what they do is they run out and they buy like a big television because they think it's time, it's the right time to do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of motivation there. It's the big game. You're right. People want to host a party, and you know, they want to impress their friends. And I think, you know, a lot of people will do exactly that. They'll run out and buy the biggest TV they can.
Yeah.
And sometimes, sometimes in a rush. Which is not always the best idea. Although I will say it's a great time to buy a TV in general. It's one of the top 5. It's like one of the top 5 sales times for TVs. So absolutely, you can get a remarkable deal. Part of it is all the new stuff's coming out in March or April. You know.
Yeah.
So they really are trying to move stuff out of the warehouses, clear their shelves for the stuff that's coming in 2019. And so yeah, it's in general a good time to buy a TV, but I suggest people do their research and really get into it, because let's face it, yeah, after the game's over, you've got this big old TV in your house, and you're gonna want to like it like well past the game.
Yeah,
it needs to be a good one. So it pays
don't
to
just
do a little
the
research.
Impulse like, oh, I need a television for the party.
Yeah,
no.
actually
do a little bit of research.
I mean, you can wait up until like the night before the game and hit your local, you know, Best Buy or whatever retailer you prefer, Costco, you name it. They all have really great deals, and get it set up in time for the game the next day. Take a second, do a little bit of research to help things out. We created a best TVs for the Super Bowl list right here at digitaltrends.com. It makes it pretty simple. There's a little something for everyone on that list. It starts at $300 and works its way up to a little over $3,000.
Seth is saying, which TV for now, LG or Samsung? That is, I feel like that's a debate that everybody has. And that's a hard one to answer.
Well, I mean, which TV are we talking about is the honest answer. Like, if you're talking about LG OLEDs, yeah, some of the best out there. Samsung QLEDs, different kind of technology, also really great. And it kind of depends on what your priorities are. Do you watch during the day with a lot of, you know, sun shining into the room? You know, you might want a slightly brighter TV, Samsung QLED for that. If you're really into movies, you watch in a darker room, you want the best picture quality you can get, LG OLED. I mean, those are the best of the best.
Yeah.
Sony OLEDs are no slouch either. But yeah, that's a very broad question. And frankly, you know, unfortunately I can't like have a conversation with everybody out there and determine what the best TV for your needs will be. But we tried to kind of qualify all these different choices that we have on our list in a way that will make people understand, yeah, okay, that sounds like it's probably the right TV for me.
And I think, yeah, that's a good thing to do is just go to Digital Trends and take a look and read through all of that information that's on there. For a quick guide, though, when you're deciding, you know, what to do, I guess you kind of walk through some of the important things to consider. You know, where you want to watch it, what you want to be watching on it. But in particular for the Super Bowl, you know, we're talking about a sporting event. What are the things that you should consider in a television?
Well, you want for the motion resolution to be good quality. So it's unfortunately TV manufacturers make it really hard to know what the native refresh rate of their TV is. I will say if you're buying an OLED, the refresh rate is the best it gets. So it's going to be amazing, period. If you can afford to put out the money for that, go for it. You know, it's about $1,700 for a 55-inch right now, which is the best price it's ever been. About $2,700, $2,600 if you're doing a 65 version of an OLED TV. So yeah, a little bit on the pricey side, but for that money, it's absolutely
like if I invest
amazing.
$1,700, you know, and you're going to get the best picture, how long is that going to last? Is it going to be next year that thing's?
Oh well, you know, the TV product cycle these days turns over much faster, but the TV is going to amaze you for at least 6-7 years.
Oh wow!
Okay. But by that time, there's going to be all this new technology. Like in 7 years, we went from 1080p to like everything's 4K. That will happen again.
With 8K even coming out.
Yes, that will happen again. So yeah, I mean, the TVs will last you as long as a TV is going to last.
It'll be about time to buy the holodeck about then.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what we're getting. That's what we want.
Or just transport yourself to the game.
Oh, yeah, that's good too. I like that idea. Well, right now, you know, since you said you can go up all the way until right before the Super Bowl, basically, buy some televisions. Let's walk through maybe just a few good buys.
I got to say,
which there's a lot.
There are a lot, but there's one that stands out in my head. If an OLED is just too rich for your blood, but you want the best picture quality you can get for the money, look no further than Vizio's P-Series Quantum X. It is a 65-inch remarkable TV. for $1,500. Like, you can't get picture quality. There is no other $1,500 TV out there that gets you this kind of picture quality. It gets extremely bright. So I don't care where you put this thing, it's going to look absolutely amazing.
Vizio, huh?
From Vizio. Vizio has been upping its game year after year after year, and this is by far the strongest TV they've ever made. And frankly, I don't think there's any better or smarter purchase in an LED TV out there right now. The smart TV system has improved, but I still don't really care for it. Like, plan on buying yourself a Roku, honestly, or an Apple TV or whatever. I'm not a huge fan of the smart TV system, although Chromecast is built in, and that's kind of handy.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the smart TV systems aren't the best.
Yeah.
In a lot of these televisions.
Yeah, you know.
You have other things that can do it so much better.
Exactly, and honestly, a decent Roku is so inexpensive. You know, what's another $50? You know, to stick a streaming stick in the back of the thing. It's no big deal. That TV is just awesome. $1,500, 65-inch Vizio P-Series Quantum. Not Quantum X. I think I said that earlier. Sorry, that's next year. Just P-Series Quantum. These TV names, Quantum. I hate these TV names.
I know.
You can't remember
the branding on the TV names is terrible.
Go to digitaltrends.com and look at our Super Bowl TV list. The Vizio is very prominently displayed in there.
Right.
Also, second best tip, if you're looking to get a great TV and not spend a lot of money, look at TCL. Pretty much anything TCL makes is going to be great. You can get a 65-inch TV for well under $800 with them. 55-inch TVs for anywhere from $300 to $600, and they have Roku built in.
Which seems that price. It just seems like, okay, this has got to be.
You walk into Costco and
junk.
You see TCL. It's not a brand that you've known about for years and years and years, and you think this is going to be a cheap TV and maybe not make me happy on the long term. No, the TVs that TCL is making right now are amazing, and they're incredible value, you know, for your money. And they have Roku built in, so the smart TV system is the best that's out there.
So it already has that.
Streaming the game super simple with a Roku TV like that.
Some of the other televisions.
Yeah. And they're totally solid. They are rock solid TVs. All the reviewers out there gave them really solid reviews last year. You'll find that other people's lists have TCL all over them because they really are the best buys out there.
That's pretty great to know. So for that kind of price, you can go out and get one right now.
Yeah, you do not have to spend an arm and a leg. And believe it or not, there is a Hisense TV. It's not the highest quality TV.
Hisense is also not a brand I would associate with.
Right, and I think they're going to be coming up strong in 2019. But right now, I mean, if you just need a 55-incher to get the game on, $300 gets you a 55-inch
Wow,
Hisense
really?
with Roku built in.
Is it 4K?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
$300.
I know, it's unbelievable that you can do that. But yeah, definitely.
Okay, a Hisense Roku TV built in 4K, $300, 55-inch.
Yeah,
that's a pretty damn good deal.
Do it.
So there's a lot of deals that are out there right now, and you can obviously go to digitaltrends.com and take a look at this entire list for Super Bowl televisions. If you have any questions, drop those in there and let us know what those are. I mean, for me, I think I like the idea that there's just so much competition now. Just like reflecting on that you just said.
Yeah.
You know, even Hisense is in there with it, but the TCLs and the Vizios competing with the Samsungs and LGs. Samsung, LG, Sony probably still at the
They're not just competitive on. Yeah, I mean Samsung, LG, and Sony are the big three. They make the best TVs and the widest range of really high quality TVs out there. But the margin in quality between the less expensive stuff that you see from TCL and Vizio and the big competitors has really closed. And that Vizio that I keep raving about, the thing about it, there is no brighter TV out there. It does black levels really well. The color, once you make some color adjustments, is outstanding. Like, I just can't believe you can get picture quality like that for $1,500. It's really, that's my glowing endorsement. I don't mind saying it. And that
hey,
TV,
you try out all of these televisions.
and it's in good supply. Like, I think about it like this. Like, I have my pick of TVs, right? I can take anything home that I want to. I'm really lucky.
Brag.
No, I'm just saying I'm lucky. That's my job.
Yeah, it is. It is your
job. And yeah, I have to be honest with you. I mean, I have some TVs in my house right now that cost a whole lot more than that Vizio does, and I would replace them with that Vizio in a heartbeat.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a pretty good endorsement. And seriously, like Caleb just said, he tries out all of these televisions. Yeah. It's his job to know the ins and outs of all of these. So also, when he recommends something, it's genuinely he's saying this is what he thinks is the best.
And I bought my mom a TCL TV because they're just so easy to operate. Anybody can stream on those things. Anybody, because Roku's so easy, and they're really affordable and totally decent. So yeah, I mean, there's great deals out there. You do not have to spend an arm and a leg to get a really solid TV. Just make sure that you're looking at the right models from any given manufacturer. We help you with that here at Digital Trends. And enjoy the Super Bowl. Yeah. I was actually on a radio show the other night out in Montreal, right? So talking about Super Bowl TVs. Okay, well, cool. They're into it as well. I figured they're out east, so they're probably rooting for the
Patriots.
Right, those guys. And they, likewise, me being on the West Coast, assumed that I would be rooting for the
LA Rams.
Right, those guys. So at the end of we have this great conversation. We have this great conversation, and yeah, I mean, honestly, there's like
just said Super Bowl. Oh, I'm in Australia.
Yeah, I'm not a huge sports guy. So
I will say I've watched the Aussie Football Rules final before with some Australians, so it's fun. It's pretty fun.
I bet. Anyway, so somebody came up and said, "You want to get in on the office pool for the Super Bowl?" And I was like, put my money on the Chicago Bulls in the 5th inning, and could have been Chicago Bills for all I know. And that's about my level of knowledge about the Super Bowl.
Did they get your joke?
I know it's the Pats and the Rams, and I know it's hotly contested. But dude was asking me like, "Who are you rooting for?" And my answer was like, I'm not going to reveal that answer because it doesn't matter what I say, somebody's going to have some kind of objection to it, and I'm going to hear all about it through social media, at work, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I will tune in for the Super Bowl. It's a big game. It's a big event. It's a lot of fun.
Right.
But the main thing is I understand how TVs display sports. And everyone that we picked does a really good job. Get yourself a true 120 hertz TV with good motion resolution. Read the reviews on that TV before you snatch it up. And remember, you can always return it and swap it out for a different one.
That's a good point, too. That's something that I always kind of forget about. It's like once you bought it, that's it. But you can return it.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially if you go through the effort of wall mounting it. But don't forget, you can take those brackets off the back of the TV, shove it in the box, get a different one, put the brackets on the new TV, hang it right up, even if you wall mounted it. And honestly, you're like 4 Phillips head screws away from getting any of these stands out of the TV. So don't feel locked in. Don't make a hasty purchase, but if you do, don't feel like you're locked into that TV. Do some research, take it back, get what you want, get what you need. We have the list right here at digitaltrends.com.
Listen to Caleb and read the article, digitaltrends.com. Take a look at that and any of these televisions that we're talking about. If you want to get in depth, you want to know the ins and outs of any of them, all of it is there on the site. We've got video reviews, we've got articles covering anything you can think of, and if there's something on there that you can't think or that we didn't cover, write us an email. Send us an email, let us know, or leave a comment on there, and we will absolutely answer that. Coming up later today, I want to remind everybody, too, Caleb's going to be back here on our Digital Trends platform at 2:30 p.m. Pacific for an episode of Trends with Benefits. We're going to be talking about data privacy and Facebook and all that stuff that's going on with it. What do we do about it? What should we do about it? We're going to be covering all of that, and that'll be happening at Trends with Benefits. But, Caleb, thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure. Happy to be here.
Along those lines with the data side of things, we've got a guest who's going to be joining us here in just a moment, Jordan Moro, who is the global head of data literacy for Click. I want to make sure I got the title right. We're going to talk to him about everything that's going on with data privacy, what we should be doing, where we're going with this, should the government get involved, what should they be doing. He's got a lot of interesting things to cover, so we'll be doing that all right here live, taking your comments and questions, once again, just to emphasize that. So if you do have some questions about that, drop those in there on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, whatever you're on, your face smashes. Drop your comments in there. We will absolutely get to those and bring those up as well. So we'll be back here in just a minute with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks for watching wherever you're tuning in. Make sure you drop in those comments and questions in there, and we will make sure that we get to them. Data privacy is something that we have been talking a lot about today, and just in general. It's more and more of an issue for all of us, and our next guest is somebody who can help explain where we should be going with this, what we should be doing about it, maybe what some other people should be doing about it. We've got Jordan Moro, who is the Global Head of Data Literacy for Click. Hello, Jordan.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Doing great. I love that title.
Good, thank you.
Well, Jordan, let's get into this and talk about data privacy, especially today in general. Just we have all of the Facebook news that came out. We have Apple with some of their leaks. I guess that's more of a tech issue, but still, data privacy is such a huge concern for all of us, and I feel like more and more people are finally waking up to what an issue it is. Let's talk about what Click is and what you guys do, and then maybe walk through some of the different steps that you're suggesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So Click as a whole, our company is a visual analytics company. It helps organizations with digital transformation. And my role, I love that you love the title. I like to think of myself as the chief nerd officer here at Click. But the reality is the role that I have in global data literacy is a very different role than most organizations would have. My role is to enable and empower organizations to be able to handle the amounts of data that they're producing in an effective consumption manner. And when we talk about data privacy, a lot of data privacy boils down to an individual and an organization's ability to actually consume it effectively and understand what it is. And that's the essence of data literacy, right? It's this ability to consume data effectively to make smart, informed decisions with that data. And so when you think about data privacy, those solutions can come down to organizations adopting data literacy initiatives and then individuals empowering themselves with data literacy as a whole.
I think that's an important part. That literacy side really is important. Just understanding what it is, how to manage it, what to do with it. I mean, that's actually a pretty monumental task on its own for a lot of people. I think it's something that maybe it could be easily overlooked. If you're just like, oh no, it's just data. Yeah, I just stored it in the, it's in the cloud. It's fine.
Right.
No, it's a lot more than that, and things do need to be done to help protect that kind of thing. So let's talk about one of the initiatives that you have, the Data Literacy Report.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, so the Data Literacy Project and the Data Literacy Index. Oh no, you're good. You're good. The Data Literacy Project itself is an independent community of like-minded people and organizations that are trying to really bring resources to the world that enable data literacy at an organization. And through that Data Literacy Project, we conducted a very large study to understand what value data literacy actually brings to organizations. And this is probably that report, that index that you're talking about, that truly showed that organizations that are top tier data literate achieve more value. They have more value from a monetary perspective. They're quicker at insights, they're quicker to market, and better return on equity, return on investments, et cetera. So data literacy as a whole, what we tried to do through the Data Literacy Project, through that community, is understand what kind of value this truly brought. And we found that it's monumental, that it equated to hundreds of millions of dollars for organizations that were in that top tier.
Wow. So that's a lot to unravel even just right there. I want to get to another side of this, I guess, talking about it from the consumer side, from just an ordinary person, with all of these privacy hacks. I just saw there's another report that there's a list of $2.1 billion or 2.1 billion emails or something that is out there, usernames and passwords. A lot of this going on right now. Who is actually protecting our data? I mean, who regulates it? Who helps keep that under control? Who's in charge of this, I guess?
I think it's an all-encompassing or unified approach that has to be taken with this, because you bring up a very interesting question. Who is in charge of this? And for the longest time, I don't think anybody could rightfully answer that question with a truthful answer. Is it government? Is it the private organization? Or does it come down to the consumer itself? And to me, the answer to all those questions is yes. We're finally starting to see regulations come along that affect that. California launched one here in the States. You've got GDPR in Europe. I do think it has to be a unified approach, though. I think that from a government perspective, we need to do a better job of, I'm not sure it's regulation or rules or conformity. There needs to be ethics designed within this. And part of the issue that you find from a government perspective is, let's take a look maybe at an algorithm. How many people have skills to properly audit an algorithm? And the answer to that question is probably not very many.
No.
So it's not only who is regulating and controlling this, there has to be from the ground up an education perspective that needs to happen across everything from the government, public education, university level, organizations down to the individual. And so I don't think it's necessarily a bad position that we're in right now. I think it kind of came about because technology and data started to come at such a rapid pace that we weren't able to keep up with it. But now we're starting to see organizations, individuals, and governments around the world taking it head on and saying, this is what needs to happen. So it is the education side from the bottom up. And then I do think organizations need to take personal responsibility for the data they're bringing in, the privacy of it. And then I do think governments need to get involved to set standards, to set ethical standards, moral standards, all of that around this world of data that we now live in.
So you don't think it's too little too late with all of these breaches? Like we're actually okay right now to start to get to thinking about these things and try to solve this issue and figure out where we need to go?
Yeah, I don't think we're too late. I think if it goes a few more years and nothing were to happen, then yeah, we might be way too far behind the 8 ball. But I think that we're not too late because, again, it came so quickly that I don't think anybody was really prepared. I don't know if we would have had the foresight to see just how rapidly this was going to evolve and what it was going to do, those unintended consequences of all the great things we're doing. But now we're starting to play that catch-up phase where we're starting to see things get put in place to kind of alleviate the stress and the errors and the issues. But again, to me, it also comes down to the individual perspective, right? Data literacy, when we bring it back to that topic, doesn't just mean you in your business life, right? Being able to have a good job, but think about how often we interact with data on our personal lives, like buying a home, filling a car with gas. All of those things are healthcare, deal with personal data. So I don't think that this upskilling and empowerment of data literacy will only benefit the corporate side or governmental side of things, but it benefits the individual's personal life. You know, I like to jokingly say that whole term of fake news. Well, imagine a world that didn't have fake news because everyone was data literate in it and could see through the fake news to come to conclusions and answers. So I don't think we're too far behind. I think that things are being put in place, but I do think there needs to be greater emphasis on the empowerment and the enablement of individuals worldwide and the access to be enabled with this skill set.
Do you think so? You think it's an access issue, not like an individual trying to educate themselves when it comes down to this?
I think it's both. And when I mean access, I'll clarify that. I mean access to the education materials. Mm-hmm. Right? Historically, when we thought about data, it usually resided within one small group, the IT world, or something like that. They were very data literate and empowered, but think about the rest of the workforce. They weren't very intelligent or didn't know what was happening with the data. So I think we need access, one, to data from a governed perspective. I don't want it to be chaos, but we need also access to education pieces. The ability, that's what the Data Literacy Project is about, is bringing access to individuals around the world to come to this community to bring you those education materials to help you get smarter with data.
What's one thing somebody at home could do right now to kind of set themselves on that path for data literacy?
That's a great question. I think it's a great question because historically, if you think about data, I think it's been an intimidating subject for people from a statistics or analytics perspective. They don't want to take it on. And I think we need to rid everyone of that mentality. When you think about data and analytics, you don't need to start with some statistics textbooks. You don't need to start studying algorithms. It starts very simply with being curious. And that is the one thing I will tell everyone to do is get curious. When you see data presented to you, I want you to ask the question why all the time. Not everyone needs to be a data scientist, but we do all need to be data literate. And one of the best ways to do that is become a data skeptic. That's one of my favorite phrases. If everyone can become a data skeptic, just asking the question why. Why does the chart look like this? Why are they presenting me with numbers like this? Why are they showing me this information? Too easily are people, we all are, we see information put in front of us and we say, that's the answer. Versus quickly just saying, why? Does this look right? Does it not look right? Why would they present it in this manner versus a different manner? So to me, the first step is that curiosity. Begin with that question, why? And it's going to open up many more doors for you.
I think that's a great answer, actually. That's something that probably all of us, and I mean, I work in tech, and I definitely should probably start asking myself why a little bit more as well. Well, Jordan, thank you so much. Where can people go to find out more about what Click does and with the Data Literacy Project?
Yeah, the easiest place to go is www.thedataliteracyproject.org. You can find me on LinkedIn under my name, Jordan Mauro, or on Twitter @analytics_time. I'm an open book. I'm an open door policy, chatting with everyone about this. But if you go to the dataliteracyproject.org, you can find the resources, ways to connect, ways to get involved, and really become a part of this initiative to truly empower everyone around the world.
Jordan, thank you so much for coming on here, talking about this, a really important issue that I think we all need to learn more about, and really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Right, that was Jordan Moro, the head of global data literacy for Click. And we've had a really fun show today. We've covered a lot of topics. Data privacy has definitely been kind of one of the key points that we've been bringing up because it's one of the trending tech topics right now, and it should be. You know, earlier in the show, we had Luke Larson in here. We were talking about kind of running down the different things that Facebook had go on. Facebook, Google, Apple, all having issues with data privacy. We kind of covered some of those. If you have a Google Plus account, it's going away, I'm sorry to say. Sorry for the sad news on that part. Then going on through the show, we were joined by Eddie Corral talking about Pier. Let me make sure I get the name of that right. Just we had Eddie in here talking about just kind of changing the way that music is streamed, using blockchain to help that, and with Pier Tracks. So Eddie, thank you so much for joining us to talk about that. Then we had Caleb Dennison in talking about the Super Bowl television deals and what you should or shouldn't get, what are the great deals depending on their price. We've got a whole rundown of that at digitaltrends.com. And then Jordan Moro talking about the Data Literacy Project and everything that goes on with that. Coming up on tomorrow's show, we've got another show for you. We've got Lisa Wang who's going to be talking about SheWorks. So what SheWorks is a global platform helping to enable female entrepreneurs to build and scale successful companies. We're going to be talking to her about that project and her company tomorrow on the show. We've got Ryan Juanita coming in to talk about some entertainment news, and we have Drew Prindle, our emerging technologies editor, coming back in to talk about basically a flying car that he flew, and we've got video of it, and we're going to be discussing that all here on Digital Trends Live, broadcasting live at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, every weekday, across all kinds of different platforms. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you get the notification when we do go live, and if you're watching live, 2:30 p.m. Pacific, back with Trends with Benefits, our Roundtable Tech podcast, talking more about data privacy, what's going on with it, what we should do with it, who should be in charge. All of those questions we'll be discussing. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'm Greg Nibbler. We'll see you tomorrow with more Digital Trends Live.